Hey tennis fans, I'm Grace Carter and this is Tennis Now, presented by Tennis Express. Tennis Express, order today and it ships today. Novak Djokovic hit himself right out of the US Open in a shocking and costly default. During his fourth round match against Pablo Carreño Busta, Novak hit a ball in frustration that accidentally struck a lineswoman in the throat. The woman went down immediately and was gasping for air. Fortunately, she's okay. But the news wasn't so good for Djokovic. He was ousted from the Open, sending shockwaves throughout the tennis world. Coming into that match, Novak was 26-0, undefeated in 2020, and he was the overwhelming favorite to win and capture his 18th Grand Slam. But instead, he made history as the first top seed to ever be booted from the Open. His default also snaps a streak of 13 consecutive Grand Slams won by the Big Three, and it means we will see a new major champion. This careless shot cost Djokovic all ranking points, the $250,000 he had earned for reaching the fourth round, $10,000 for reckless ball abuse, and $7,500 for blowing off the mandatory post-match press conference. And finally, what about the price he's going to pay in the court of public opinion? A couple of hours after he left the grounds, Novak did issue an Instagram apology to both the lineswoman and the US Open, saying that he feels, quote, sad and empty for what happened. John McEnroe, who was famously defaulted from the 1990 Australian Open, knows all about major meltdowns and the toll they can take. He called the debacle a stain that will brand Novak for the rest of his career. Johnny Mac says whether he likes it or not, Novak is going to be the bad guy and says it'll be interesting to see how he handles it. He also blasted Nolay's decision to skip the press conference, saying you've got to man up and take responsibility. McEnroe says avoiding the press conference just makes everything look worse. This shot reverberated around the sports world, creating a lot of controversy and debate. Some say the US Open acted too harshly, that it was unintentional and he shouldn't have been defaulted for it, but others say the US Open really had no choice. Rules are rules. We could ask Serena Williams about that one. Critics say if Djokovic had been allowed to play on, it would have been a double standard, giving preferential treatment to a superstar. Other accidents have happened, and those players were also ousted. Players like Tim Henman, David Nalbandian, and Denis Shapovalov. Novak's former coach, Boris Becker, weighed in with a column he wrote for the Daily Mail, saying that he backs the call to disqualify Nolay. He agrees it was an accident, but that doesn't excuse it. He goes on to say that Novak is paying the price for his recent off-court activities, including his new players' union, his COVID-stricken Adria tour. He thinks Nolay has been under a lot of stress, and it has definitely taken a toll. So how does Djokovic come back from all this? Becker advises he gets back to the basics and says that Nolay would have benefited from having his coach Marian Vida in New York because he knows Novak's moods and can calm him down. Becker calls Djokovic a street fighter and says emotional intensity is his greatest weapon, but it also happens to be his biggest weakness. Johnny Mac, though, has a different perspective. He says Nolay should just embrace the role of villain and use it to emotionally recover and also to fuel his hunt for history to break Roger Federer's Grand Slam record. So what do you say? Did the Open make the right call, or was it too much? Sound off in the comment section, and we'll see you next time here on Tennis Now.